His Royal Highness, distinguished guests, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all friends of ISESCO and friends of the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum, and it is indeed a great pleasure to be with you today on this very special day. I feel privileged to be associated with this event, and I would like to thank the director of ISESCO for his kind invitation to speak at this important conference. Today we celebrate the Arabic language, and it is an appropriate time to think about what this language and those who speak it have contributed to the world, to culture, science, among so many other areas. It is also time to rethink languages generally, as many of them are dying, and when they do, they take with them swathe of cultural treasures. Arabic is one of the official languages of the United Nations and the national language of more than 25 countries in the Middle East region in Africa, and with a collective population of over 300 million people. It is the language of social and cultural heritage and a religious language for Muslims. With such vibrancy, should one be worried about the future of the Arabic language? Personally, I feel that learning this language opens a window into Arab culture and a vista into the golden age of the Arab world. That golden age was when Arab researchers, astronomers, scientists, mathematicians straddled the world stage. The Arab world created the House of Wisdom as it pulled scientists from all over the world towards Baghdad, drawn as they were by the city's vibrant intellectual curiosity and freedom of expression. Muslims, Jewish, and Christian scholars were all allowed to study there. The House of Wisdom became an unrivaled center for the study of humanities and sciences, including mathematics, astronomy, medicine, chemistry, geography, philosophy, literature, and the arts. It was destroyed in 1258, but the discoveries made there introduced a powerful, abstract mathematical language that would later be adopted by the Islamic Empire, Europe, and ultimately the entire world. That abstract mathematical language, especially algorithm, is impacting our modern world more than ever before. Ladies and gentlemen, as Arabic is closely associated with the Islamic faith, let's go back to the time referred to as the Jahiliyyah. In that time, it was reported that the poet was always prepared because the Arabs were then in a state of readiness. Likewise, in the period bridging the Jahiliyyah with Islam, the poet prospered and expanded his talents because the Arabs then were in a state of growth and expansion. In the post-classical period, the poet then split his loyalties because the Islamic nation was in a state of disunion, and the poet kept on progressing, ascending and changing his color, appearing at times as a philosopher, at other times as a physician, and still other times as an astronomer, until the Arabic language was lured to drowsiness and then to sleep. And in his deep sleep, the poets reverted to versifiers, the philosophers metamorphosed into scholastic theologians, the physicians into quacks, and the astronomers into fortune tellers. We all know the fate of the astronomer Ulugh Beg. If the above is correct, the future of the Arabic language is going to be closely tied to the power of invention in all the nations that speak Arabic. A language is but one manifestation of the power of invention in a nation's totality or public self. History has showed how Arabic was relevant when major works in ancient Greek were translated into Arabic and safeguarded, and how it was acquired later again after the fall of Constantinople. Those who publish in this language, those enlightened leaders who invest in and promote this language will ensure its relevance and survival. When this power of invention slumbers, the language associated with it will stop in its tracks. To stop is to regress, and regression leads to death and extinction. This, to some extent, would explain the ascent and success of the English language, as it is the language of technology. Extrapolating from there, it is clear that the future of the Arabic language will be tied increasingly to the presence or absence of invention in all the countries that speak Arabic. Where invention and creativity is present, the future of the language will be glorious like its past, and where it is absent, the future will be like the present of its two sisters, Syriac and Classical Hebrew. And if those nations together were possessed of a private self or unity of spirit, and if the power of invention in that self were to wake up after the long sleep, the future of the Arabic language would be as glorious as its past, and if not, it will not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, the nations that walk in the forefront of the procession of life are the inventive ones, and that which is inventive is that which influences. On the other hand, the nations that walk last in the procession are the ones that imitate, and the imitator is the one who is influenced. And so when the Easterners were ahead and the Westerners were behind, civilization had a great influence on their languages. One can only look at the numbers of the number of Arabic words that have gone into the language. 8% of Spanish is Arabic. Words like alcohol, algebra, alchemy, alkali, all betray their Arabic roots. But now, since they are in the front and the rest of the world lag behind, their civilization has necessarily exerted greater influence on other languages, their thinking, and their way of life. What happened? The other question that one has to ask is, what influence does the Arab political scene have on the language? All writers and thinkers in both the East and the West agree that the Arab countries are in a state of political, psychological, and administrative confusion, and most of them agree that this confusion can be the harbinger of destruction. So what is the best means to revive the Arabic language to the same level as that of the Golden Age? Ladies and gentlemen, the answer may well be in the question. How can we ensure relevance for the language in the present day landscape where technology is moving at warp speed and where investment and promotion of the language may be lagging behind? I hope that today's conference will reflect on the ways by which the language can be promoted through culture, innovation, and investment, so that we keep ensuring the relevance and survival of this beautiful and rich legacy. Let the Arabic language adopt simplicity in its surrounding and be clothed in the fabric of the imagination of those who speak it, write in it, rather than to only translate and imitate what others are saying. Provided we are concerned about the future of Arabic as a language, one that we want to see thriving in the 21st century and beyond. I thank you for your attention.